For assignment 1, we give you a zip file. When you unzip that file, you'll find starter code, puzzle files, and a file named A1checker.py. I'm going to show you how to run A1checker.py and explain how to interpret the messages you see when you run that program. For assignment 1, you're going to add functions to puzzlefunctions.py. It's really important that you don't move that file. It needs to be located in the same directory as the A1checker.py program and the PyTA folder. Now I'm going to run the checker. I've opened A1checker.py and I click Run. We see a lot of output on the screen. Because the starter code is incomplete, we have some style errors and some correctness errors. We'll look at both. I'm going to scroll up to the top to make sure that we see the entire message. The configuration file is loaded. There are no errors in this high priority category. But note, that does not mean that your code is correct. It simply means that there are no high priority style errors to address. Scrolling down a little bit further, we see that there are some style or convention errors. There's one error, W0613, unused argument, and there's one occurrence of that error. The error occurs in function getCurrentPlayer. And this error occurs because we have added this function header and docstring to the starter code, but we did not implement the function. Therefore, the parameter player1turn is never used in the body of the function. Once you implement this function and use that parameter, then this message will be resolved. Scrolling down a little bit further, we have one error in the category checking parameter and return types. This error is also related to the function getCurrentPlayer. We expect that getCurrentPlayer should return a string, but it returns none. As I mentioned, that's because we haven't implemented the function body yet. Once we implement the function body and return a string, this issue will be resolved. For the checking parameter and return type section, when an error occurs, the rest of the checks for the other functions are not executed. So because we see an error for getCurrentPlayer and none of the rest, it does not mean that this is the only function that has problems. This is the first function that had a problem, and it's possible that others have errors too. Once the getCurrentPlayer issue is resolved, then the rest of the checks can run and you'll find out information about those functions. As you work on your assignment, regularly run A1checker.py. Fix style and parameter and return type errors as you go. Don't wait until the last minute. You won't be able to fix all of the errors until you've implemented all functions. There's a website with PyTA documentation. When you run the checker and encounter a style error, go to this website to search for that error and see an English description of it, as well as some example code that produces the error. To help you get familiar with the PyTA style errors, we've included a sequence of PCRS exercises involving code that produces those errors. Use the documentation on this website to learn about the various errors and solve those exercises.